Well, hey everybody, welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm just kind of showing a couple of kits here. I think there's 7 that I was recently at a train show up in Keswick, Virginia, near Charlottesville. And it's mostly a 3-rail Lionel collector's type thing. But what that means for us HO scale guys is that most people just wanted to get rid of this stuff. So I spent under $50 and got 7 pretty nice kits. These 2 are AccuRail, which I run a lot of on my layout with the operations focus. Nice little gondola there, and a ice reefer, and a couple of box cars here. A Florida East Coast from Athearn that's already actually built and has metal wheels and knuckle couplers, which is nice. And this is a really nice looking kit from McKean. This is a Southern, just PS1 boxcar. And then over here, a couple of Intermountain kits. The one in the back obviously is a C&O boxcar. And this one in the front, I'm really excited about this one. This is a woodside gondola. So you can see here, it's got the frame, and then separately in brown there is the wooden sides, and then that laser cut stuff underneath is the floor. So that is gonna be a really nice kit put together. I'm not a New York Central guy, obviously, but I run a north-south railroad, and so no question, Seaboard Airline would have interchanged cars and passed those cars back and forth from up north. So got that one. And then this one's kind of interesting. This is an unmarked PS1 boxcar in this kind of funky case, unlabeled. I have no idea who made it. I think it was $4 or $5 at the show. So I thought, what the heck? I'll have to replace all the windows. It's got some decals in there, but I'll probably add my own and kind of make that whatever I want. So now that I've kind of got the airbrush running and I'm getting more and more comfortable with using it, that's a project I was kind of looking forward to messing with. So that's when I'd have to paint and decal myself. The last thing I got, there was a little bit of collectible stuff, but this nice Seaboard Airline, I don't know if it's a sticker or just a card. I think it is actually a sticker. But yeah, $2. It's great stuff. The gentleman selling that, his family, he said he had 3 generations of family that worked for the Seaboard Airline. He had some neat collectible stuff. Certainly some good stories. I hope somebody bought some of the stuff, some really cool stuff. I just got this. I'm not really a railroadiana collector type, but that deserves a spot over by my workbench somewhere. And then while we were up there, we were kind of in and out of the show pretty quick because the HO stuff was fairly limited. But there is a really good hobby shop up there in Charlottesville, which was very close to Keswick. So we went in there, and I just got some random stuff here. With all the static grass stuff I'm doing, this seemed a little bit nicer than trying to not break things with the hose that goes to my shop vac. And anyway, it's probably a stupid purchase, but I don't know. It jumped out at me and I was like, you know what, this probably looks a little bit more convenient than what I've been doing to pick up excess materials. So I got that. I was just about out of the War World Scenics layering spray, so I thought I'd give Pico's a try, which they sold up there. Got an airbrush holder for where the paint booth is. That's all new for me as I'm kind of getting into that. And I do actually have 2 airbrushes, so this guy will hold up to 4. So now I can put 2 in a place sturdy. Believe it or not, I didn't have any of the little micro drills. So this is one of those number 61 to number 80 drill bits. I did have some random ones, and I have the handle, but I didn't have the full set. So as I'm starting to think about some of these Craftsman kits I'm going to talk about, I wanted to be able to, when the instructions say use a number 67, like I don't have that. So now I do. A couple of spray bombs of Tamiya greens. There's a couple of olive drabs there, just various greens, and I'll show you what that's for. And this concrete Woodland Scenics concrete color that I want to mess with, and I'll talk about that as well. So let me, I'm gonna move and show you guys kind of, that's it for the run up to Charlottesville. Oh no, one more thing. These are just wooden fences from Tichy. They look really good. I know they're plastic, but they actually are very thin Look like they're very well put together. You know, I paid sticker price for that at the hobby shop, $5, but it's a really nice hobby shop. Glad to support those guys. Believe it or not, we actually do not have one in Richmond, which is a shame. So Charlottesville is about an hour up the road. If I want to go to a nice hobby shop, I got to go up there. So definitely want to support those guys. It's the best, closest one that I know of. So let me move the camera and we'll talk about what's next. All right, so I said I'd talk about what the Tamiya spray bombs are for, various shades of green. Well, my same friend that made the molded loading ramp and cribbage has this stuff growing on oak sticks, etc., that fall out of the trees. And he gets them when the limb falls. This has got this stuff all over it. We don't really know what it is. He's been gathering it for a long time and thinks it's something that could be used. I agree. Here's a little piece here. You can see it's an inch or two long. This is a 1/2 inch grid that it's sitting on. What I'm thinking I would do with it is break little bits of it off, dunk it in some diluted Mod Podge to give it a little stability, I guess, because it is a natural material and becoming a little bit brittle. So give it a little dip in the Mod Podge and then give it a little paint with some of this various green colors. And it looks like if I grabbed it and turned it vertical, nice little trackside weeds and stuff. And so a whole bunch of this stuff. He's got a pile of it. Every time a limb comes down, he gets a little bit more. So he gave me this little bit to kind of play around with. Like I say, I don't know what it is, but this is what it looks like. It's got a great little branching structure. Again, that's a 1/2 inch grid, so you can see just how much there is there. I mean, you could flock that, I suppose, but I feel like just hitting it up with green will look like some of the tall, like spindly weeds you see trackside. So that's what the green paint's for, and this will be a future project. All right, so I think a couple of weeks ago in my last video, I was actually out of town, so that's why I didn't have any activity last week, but I got that ballast done. And before I left, I ordered more. And I think I ordered a bunch more. And I don't know what's going on, but I don't have it yet. I don't know if it's not shipped yet or whatever. I don't have it yet. It's been almost 2.5 weeks since I ordered it. I'm starting to get a little frustrated. I'm not gonna badmouth a vendor. So I'm not gonna say who it was, but it's just a little bit frustrating and it's kind of holding me up because I want to be able to ballast the lead here before I install those pine trees, you know, in their final area where they're going to go. So this project's kind of on hold while I wait for the ballast. I thought for sure if I ordered it before I went on vacation that by the time I came home it would be here, and it's not. So what I am doing is looking at the other side here, starting to play with a bunch of kits I've been collecting over the last year or two, and figure out how I want all the warehouses and things. Ignore the I'm doing many projects at once. Ignore the ballast stuff there. But I've got a bunch of kits here I'm messing around with as I think about how I want this sort of warehouse district just to start to look. So over here is these are downtown deco. And they look really good, other than the middle of the mold seems to have gotten pinched in a little bit. I don't know if you can see that it's bowed, both on the top and the bottom. Not sure what that's all about, but I think I can just sand it out and live to fight another day. That one too. The two bigger ones, it's real obvious on. This one here, not so much, but I've got them laid out exactly like they are on the box. I'm gonna paint them all differently. I've never done a plaster kit before, so I'm kind of excited to mess around with those. And these aren't rail served anything. This is just the back of buildings. What that track is in the foreground, that's where the tank cars and covered hoppers with sand, tank cars with diesel fuel, covered hoppers with sand are gonna get parked for the engine service area here. I'm not gonna have like a bunch of permanent facilities here. Believe it or not, as big as the yard is on this model railroad, it is, South Yard was not a terminal point or anything like that. So I don't know what they actually did, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that they just filled up cars from a tank car parked there. So that's how I'm modeling it anyway. So I got 2 tracks for diesel storage, and then the back track there is where, you know, fuel and sand and that kind of stuff would go. And as I pivot this way, again, sorry about the bottles in the way, that's a DPM kit. It's actually one I've got several of because I was thinking of making a very large structure, but I kind of like how it works here. This is going to be the rip track here and here, so sort of inbound deliveries here, and then repairs are done here. I'm probably going to end up with like a crane or something outside just to kind of mess around. Again, not a huge crane, but just for like a simple kind of repair that might happen here. I don't think South Yard even had any facilities like this, but I don't care. I'm going to. So that's a DPM kit. I'm gonna grab it real quick. I'm just reaching. Sorry for the shaky camera. What kit is this? Of course, I don't have the label out. That's the one I pulled it from, but like I said, I bought several. So this is what it actually is. Laub's Linen Mill. And my thought when I first bought these, I've actually 4 of them. These 3 are a little newer than the one I'm actually using the parts from. But I thought I would extend, put a bunch of these side by side and make a very long warehouse somewhere on this layout eventually. So these were fairly cheap on eBay. So I picked 3 of them up from the same vendor a while back. So moving on, that's the DPM Laub's Linen Mill being reconfigured to fit the space. This right here, I got up in Timonium, and I talked about that at the time, but it's from Rail Scale Models. It is, again, reconfigured. It's supposed to have the doors on one side and the windows on the other, and then it's got 2 end pieces to make a rectangle. I'm turning it into a flat because apparently that's what I do. So that's going to be here as part of the rip track at an angle to kind of follow the track, but also I feel like having things angle out towards the center here, just like I did with the track. If I kind of go up a little higher, you can see I did it with the track. I feel like that'll make this area look a little bit bigger and a little bit more interesting than it maybe actually is. I'm going to leave those buildings. Obviously, that's the backdrop. And then over here is what I'm going to show you shortly. I've actually got the main piece to this one over on the workbench. This is the end. This is another downtown deco kit. So this is the end. I'm going to use that as the side somewhere in this area. Have a very long warehouse that runs all the way back over there. And let me just walk over to the workbench and show you that. So this is the warehouse side, and I've been working on cleaning it up. I need to sand it straight, but this is an upcoming project I'm going to have. In fact, I might start with this. This is actually the Front Street flat, which is, you guys probably have seen this all over the place, but it's got like a warehouse on the left and a little store thing on the right. I'm just using the warehouse on the left for now. And what I want to do is clone that. I want to make several of these so I can make a very long warehouse with this look. I think it just looks like the older brick type stuff we see in and around Richmond. So I'll be working on that here very soon. If I keep looking at the buildings we're doing. So that was this warehouse. And then this is the Monster Model Works. This is flipping over to laser wood here. It's brick, but it is made out of wood. Beautiful kit. This is not the way that you would normally make it. I'm kind of turning that into a flat as well to fit this warehouse track. So the area behind the yard, you got the rip track over there, engine servicing, a big warehouse here, another big warehouse here, and then as I keep going that way, the part that's not built yet, there will eventually be a power plant and a water treatment facility down that way in that space over there that I'm not really ready to mess with yet. So again, I'm starting over by the workbench. This is the area that we scenicked. Now I'm starting to move this way, working on buildings and kits, and just going left to right through here. And I have something really cool for where this spray bottle is. This is my icing track. And I don't know if you can see through the box up there, that fine scale miniatures kit, that was my grandfather's, and that is the icing platform. He never built it. When he passed away, there's a bunch of train stuff that got passed around the family. A lot of it got sold. One of my cousins grabbed a few things, thought I would want that, and I definitely did. That's gonna feature prominently right up front, eventually on the icing track. So that's the vision as we work our way through the yard and kind of what I'll be working on next. So let me show you a little bit more about this warehouse that's gonna go here. Wait, I thought he was gonna show us about a warehouse. What is this stuff? Well, this is a loading ramp, obviously. Kind of a stone or earthen one with timbers up the sides. This is a casting. This was made by a friend of mine. I'm not even sure what the original was, but he made a mold of it and then poured hydrocal. And now he can make them pennies on the dollar, whatever kind of these you want for your layout. And so he made one, gave it to me. I'm gonna get to the warehouse, I swear. Then there's this cribbage. He actually gave me 2 of these. Came out really nice. Got the earthworks behind it, the timbers. And obviously I need to clean a little bit of stuff up here. But you got the timbers, wraps around the side. There's 2 of those for any kind of retaining wall. It's another mold he made. So that made me very intrigued. And so what this is, that's a mirror. I've got this mold builder, latex stuff, and gauze, and an old brush I don't care about. And I am going to make a mold of that section of the downtown deco kit that's the warehouse side. I'm gonna make a mold of it so that I can make a couple of copies of that and make a really long, somewhat prototypical sized warehouse that would actually have rail service versus, something, I don't know, 120, scale feet long or something. I'm gonna make something 200 or 300 scale feet long for that spot there. So that's the plan. That's gonna be kind of an interesting project. As I walk over here towards the workbench, this is what I'm gonna make a mold out of. Obviously, I would never condone copying and selling anything like this, which I will not do. But, for my own personal use on the layout, I really love the way this kit looks and the textures in it and stuff. I just want it to be bigger, so I'm gonna make it bigger. So that's kind of where we are. We are waiting on ballast. We are making a mold. Let's see, what else are we doing? We are working on the aesthetics of what this area is gonna start to look like, and I'm pivoting from country, rural kind of stuff. Now we're into industrial, urban stuff and some kit building. Like I said, once I get the area above the workbench done, I'll feel confident to start playing around with kits down here. So that's the plan there. What else are we doing? We are, of course, going to train shows and supporting hobby shops and still scratch building some scenery stuff and playing with trees. And you know what we're doing? We're having fun. That's what we're doing. And I hope everybody else is having fun with their layouts too. So I'm going to stop it here. I don't have a ton of actual progress, but more just a level set of where I'm headed here over the next, who knows? This is going to take me some time. So I hope y'all are doing well and staying safe. Be well, and I will see y'all next week.